Okay, going live, going live. Just getting everything set up here. I always forget where everything goes. Just want to make sure. Okay, cool. All right, we're in the Webflow forums, and Kylie Morgan wants to make a homepage like Travis Scott with this four corners kind of navigation. That's going to be the main focus. If you click down here, this reveals. I think I'll get to that too. And here's what she's got so far. She's got a definitely she's got the everything in the right spot, so that's great. But we'll see if we can improve upon this design at all. Thanks, thanks, Kylie, for your request on the forum. Okay, I got an empty Webflow project here, and just gonna walk through how I would do this. Chuck a div block here. We can call this I don't know, page wrap, and then we're gonna have two. We'll call this main, and we'll call this footer. I think that has a semantic tag associated with it. Yeah, footer. We'll call this main. Does this have anything? I'm going to leave that as div. Okay. And we want the main section to take up 100% of the viewport height. So I'm going to give it 100 VH and main. And I'm going to give that flex and stack them vertically. And let's have main take up 100%. And this will take up 0% for now, the footer. Let me give those some colors just so we can see them. Just have a little bit of red. The footer. Let's give this a little bit of blue. This will just help us as we continue building, and we can change it back later when we're done. Put that back down to 0%. And we got our main and our page wrap. Okay, now main, I want to be a flex child. I want it to take up the maximum amount of space possible. And I'm going to put in, let's start with the nav. I'm going to link this as a nav. And now my idea is that this will lay over the top of everything, but that'll give us a couple problems you'll see in a second. But we will get there when we get there. Actually, this doesn't need really width and height at all, but I'm going to make it absolute, which means the parent needs to be relative. And it's just going to lay on top of everything. So I'm going to click this one here. And now let's start putting, oh, nobody wants that. Where's the scroll coming from? Oh, did I make something 105 again? Can't press the shift button. Okay. And let me just make sure that this is able to pop up. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we've got our navigation. And now I'm going to put the links inside of the navigation. Let's use for this, let's use a link block. Give this a tab of link block, or a class of link block. And I'm going to put some text inside of there. Call this link text. And let's call this one. I'm going to give this 1 rem of padding on all sides. Looks pretty good. This has a bottom margin of 10. I'm just going to 0 that out because we definitely don't need that. I'll call this nav instead of navigation. Okay, so we've got our first link block, and this is going to be position absolute, and I'm going to position 4 in different corners. You'll see how I do that in a sec. I just want to make sure I don't need anything else. I think I'm going to make the link text some color. I mean, we'll make it similar to the Travis Scott website. And link block doesn't need any decoration either. Okay. Wonder if there's a cool text we can use instead of Arial. What's it like inconsolata? That's kind of similar. Definitely not the same, but. And then we've got capitalized text. And we'll give that a little bit of letter spacing. A little more than that. Okay, that's pretty good. And I'm going to duplicate this 3 times. Call this one 2. Call this one 3. Call this one 4. Okay, now these are all static right now. I'm going to make them absolute, and they're all going to stack on top of each other because they're all going to want to be at the top left here. And since they're absolute, I'm pulling them from the document flow essentially. And you'll see what I'm going to do in a second to fix that. So let's make these absolute. They all stack. So we'll call this is top right. We'll call this one a combo class of is bottom left. And we'll give the last one a combo class of is bottom right. And so let's take is top right, and we're going to take absolute, and we're going to chuck it over here in the top right. Bottom left, we're going to toss in the bottom left, and bottom right in the bottom right. And now let's just check our responsiveness real quick. So that's going to every corner, and we've got the fin suite vertical resizing on too, which is awesome. Resizing everything for us that way. So that is responsive in that respect. And then let's see if this comes up. Yep, we're starting to, they'll stay where we want them. And we're getting that behavior that we like. Okay. Let's make this, see if I can get a little bit more bold. And I think that's pretty good. Wondering if I should remove the red color now. I think it's about time. Okay, we'll grab these shoes. Save image as Travis Scott shoes. Download. Let's go. And I'm just going to throw it in the, this is absolute as well. So it won't affect when we put the image in, but I'm just going to put the image right in the middle there. But to do that, I want to make this flex vertical, and I'll just center everything. So now let's throw these shoes in. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. And something about these shoes, let's see, I'll show you. Yeah, so if I want to remove the background, it's easy. Just go to remove bg dot or remove.bg, and I'll just toss these in here. And download. And I'm going to delete this one. Throw these in. Make sure it's in the right spot. And now it's in the middle and it doesn't have that background. Curious how big this image is as well. 178 kilobytes. So that's good. I don't need to worry about compressing that or anything. I try to keep things under 300 kilobytes. It's just a general rule of thumb. I guess Webflow released a new way to compress your images. I thought it was just in here. I actually haven't explored it, so I was hoping I could take a quick look at that, but since I don't see it, expand assets panel, compress, there it is. Let's see what it does. It should convert to WebP. Let's compress. Where are we at now? 20. Oh, that was definitely worth it. Still looks good too. Good job, Webflow. That's awesome. Okay, did it remove the shadow from these shoes? It kind of did. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, I'm just going to leave it like that. But yeah, I guess remove BG ended up removing the shadows. So now we can, we could add links to these. Let's say I have page 2 or page 1, create page 2, create page 3, create page 4. just so I have some links to go to. Um, this is going to go to page 1. This is going to go to page 2. This is going to go to page 3. This is going to go to page 4. Something to notice is that we can't actually select the shoes on the page. And that is because I could select them on the navigator, but I can't select them on the page because anytime I click, this nav is covering everything. So something we can do for that is I'm going to get an embed and write just one line of CSS here. If you don't have a pro account, you won't be able to get an embed, which is a bummer. But I like to do the embeds in line because it'll show up, the CSS will show up live on the page. So I'll open up some style tags here. And I'm going to target that class of nav. I'm going to say pointer events none. And now I can actually click the shoes on the live page, but you'll notice I have a new problem. I had a pointer events none to the nav, and it's descending to these links. They're inheriting that. So what I need to do is, and this just reduce in size, I think probably because it doesn't have any width or height information. So let's just give it something to go off of, and we'll go with 80% for there. And back to our other problem, which is that we can't click the actual links anymore. So what I can do is I'll just take the class of link block and I'll give that pointer events auto. Save and close. And now I can select these two and the image. So we're getting the behavior that we want. Say I go to page 1. Now I'm on page 1, go back to home. And if I wanted to make these shoes link somewhere, I think they actually link somewhere. Yeah, shop.travisscott.com. So I could wrap that in a link block. And we'll just send it to google.com. Let's see. I have the image selected, not the. Open in a new tab. And the 80% width. We don't want that anymore. Apply that to the link. We'll call this like hero link. 80%. And we'll just center everything in there. Cool. Now we're getting that again. So that's 80%. So now I want the shoes to go to 100%. Can't press the shift button. And that should fix that weird issue that we're having. Are those too big? Yeah, they're too big. So let's take hero link and reduce this just a little bit. It's looking better. Okay. I'm going to get this thing right here. Whatever this is. Where does this go? TravisScott.com. And I will, let's see, SVG. Yep. So, I want this SVG. Let's copy this and come back in here. I'm going to add another embed. And that's not going to work because I don't have the actual logo code. Let's see the head where they load these. Just looking to see if I can find. I don't think it's any of these. It's possible it is. Let's just see what this gets me. Okay. This is it here. I don't know if this is going to work for us, but we'll give it a shot. And it doesn't. Can't get anything out of that. Symbol, icon, logo, view box. These are definitions. This is actually the one that's in the footer. I'm pretty sure since it's next to all these. Oh, it's not actually in the footer. I was thinking since we have all these other ones here. Probably just going to skip this for now. Yeah. I'm lost. Help. I'm lost. I mean, you could screenshot it if you want, but that's not ideal. SUD, it's using the class of, let's see what that gives us. That doesn't give us anything. I'll tackle this later. If I can fix it, I will update in the comments below. But let's leave it. I think I'd rather work on this section here. So there's just a little plus sign down there. And I'm going to use a link block. I'm going to put that in the nav. What happened to my nav? There it is. And we'll give that a link block. And we'll say it is bottom middle. And I don't have any text in there yet. So let's throw some text in there. It's just going to be a big plus sign. Okay, now we need to position it. And I don't want it to be blue though. Let's set the color to be black. Is bottom middle. Actually, the reason the color went black is because I didn't give it the same class here. So we'll call that link text. And then I can go back to the link block and I don't have to set color on that. Put is bottom middle back on. Okay. Now you would think, you would hope you could do something like this. Put it on the bottom and then maybe center align it, but that doesn't work. So what I'm going to do here, it's a little bit hacky, but it's all good. We will make this inline block, put it in the bottom left, and I'll give it a left margin of 50%. That's going to move it 50% over, but with reference to the left side here. And to bring it back, we'll just come into the transform. And this is with respect to itself, so I'll do minus 50% of its own. And there we go. That's all we need for that. Okay, let's tackle this text now. Let me give this a little space in front just so. That's too much. I'll rotate this 45 degrees. Oh, definitely didn't want that. Is menu button. And now I can rotate it 45 degrees. Cool. And now when we hover over that, it should be good. But we actually didn't want to rotate that yet. That will happen later. Oops. Okay, that's good now. Because we're applying it to the text and not the actual link block. This transform we still want. Okay, so now what I want to happen is when I click that button, I want this footer to get some height. But there's currently nothing in there, so let's put something in there. What do we have? Enter for email updates. Can't spell today. This will be text center, and I can just make it inline block. I'm actually going to put a container inside of the footer. Put everything in there, and this one we will center. And we'll give it a max width of 20 rem. It's not going to be enough. How's that look? Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll flex it, vertical, center everything. Okay. And then the top, I'm going to give it, well, I'll do some padding. Sure, that's good. For RAM, I'm going to bring that down to 2. Just because we only have limited space here to work with. Accept the terms. For that, we're going to need a form block. We're just going to delete everything. But we have our form. Where's checkbox? Checkbox. Is there a submit button? Yeah, there is. It needs to go in here. And this is going to need some flex action as well. Vertical, middle. And what this is all black, right? So let's change our colors. And within the footer, we want our text color to be white. This is footer underscore text. We'll give this to the body. We're going to make 16 pixels. This will just be transparent. I think that's all there is to it. Yep. Give this all caps. And then we've got some social icons down here. Just use a grid, 2, 3, 4, 5. Delete this bottom row. I think the grid is giving us this weird looking issue. So let's throw a div block. Actually, let's see. Am I going to be able to get these SVGs? Probably not. What's this give me? This is definitely not what I want. Thanks, Travis Scott. Where's an easy place to get icons from? Could get them from Font Awesome. Let's just go to flat icon. What do I want? Probably a white one. They have like a color. Let's see. No, I don't want color. I want white. I mean, I can change these. I just don't want to. SVG costs money. There's such an easier way to do this. Oh, I know. I get these from another Webflow project. Just give me a moment. I should probably have like a custom style guide by now so that these are easy to get. Okay. I'm going to pull these from the FinSuite uh, style guide. Couldn't read native clipboard data. Don't do me like that. Well, then I'll do it this way. Now I have a Twitter icon. Okay. Dun, dun. Here we go. I'm just going to leave it, I think. That for now. This is probably not high enough that, there it goes. And what's doing that text? So we need to hide overflow. Yes. Cool. Okay, now we just need to make that animation actually happen. So let's select this. And we want on click. Start an animation. We'll call this reveal footer. And I'm going to affect the size. I don't want to target the link block. Let's change target to footer. I want to start from 0. I think they actually have this hard coded on here, the height, not as a percentage. Yeah. So let's go to rem. And that would be an initial state. And then we're going to adjust our size. Again, change the target to the footer to, I don't know, 10 rem, a little more. Looks good. And let's do like an ease in out. Okay, the other thing we want to do is this little text. Let's do a rotation. Is there transform? Where's transform? Rotate. 0. And rotate to 45 degrees. Okay. Save that and start an animation. Just duplicate reveal footer, but we'll call this hide footer. And these are both going to get deleted. These are no longer set as initial state. Drag them both in there. Okay. And it goes to 0. And we want, say, ease in and out. And we want the rotate back to 0. Ease in and out. Save. And let's test that. Cool. Looks good. I think that is everything I wanted to cover. One of the main things, this embed here, if you don't have a pro account and you can't just write this, what you can do is copy paste this and throw it in here. This inside the head tag like that. And then you would save and publish. The unfortunate part is that you won't see this live. You have to publish it and look at it on the live site. So thanks for watching. And Kylie Morgan, I hope this helps you build the site of your dreams. All right.